Yo, what up, y'all? This is your boy, Oaghaji, aka Oaghaji. I'm back with another video, and I'm back with another review. Yep, that's right, back with another one. And today's review is going to be on the 1976 Hong Kong Kung Fu film classic from the mighty Shaw Brothers Studios, Challenge of the Masters. Now, its Chinese title, its Cantonese title is Lau Kar Fai Wang Fei Hong, which means Lau Kar Choi and Wang Fei Hong, which means that the title character, Wang Fei Hong, being played by Gordon Liu, and Lau Kar Choi being played by, Chen Kuan Tai, as y'all can see in the bottom. Yeah, I hope y'all can see it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, without further ado, let's talk about the synopsis in the back of this DVD right here. The young Wang Feihong tries to gain entry into his father's martial arts school, but is deemed too immature to handle it. Eventually, a revered master, Lau Choi, played by Chen Kuan Tai, agrees to train him after hearing of a friend's murder. Fei Hong kicks his training into high gear in order to take on the killer. That's played by the director of the film Lau Kar Leung. Now, let's talk about the story and the characters and the acting. Now, this story follows Wang Fei Hong, who was a real life martial arts master, who was a real life kung fu master from Fatsan, Guangdong, you know what I'm saying, in southern China, who was a practitioner of Hongga or Hongkun or Hongga-kun in Cantonese. And he is also a herbal doctor and a trainer of a local militia in Guangdong in Fatsan. You know what I'm saying? So this is so Gordon Liu here. He plays like Wang Fei Hong when he was young, and when his father Wang Keiying, who was a real life kung fu master and herbal doctor as well, who was also a member of the Ten Tigers of Canton. Yep, that's right. Wang Fei Hong's father, Wang Keiying, was a real life member of the Ten Tigers of Canton, which is a group of Cantonese kung fu masters that fought against, the Qing dynasty government ruled by the Manchu people. But anyway, like I said, yeah, Gordon Liu plays the young Wang Fei Hong, and this is like the first film where we see like a young Wang Fei Hong, you know what I'm saying, before he became the legendary real life folk hero, you know what I'm saying, which is pretty dope. And like I said, Gordon Liu does a very fantastic job. Does a very fantastic job playing as the young Wang Fei Hong in his debut as a leading man, no less, in 1976, which is pretty dope. I also like how Chen Kuan Tai or Chen Kuan Tai plays the master, the real life Hongga Kung Fu master, Lau Choi, you know what I'm saying, who allegedly studied under the supposed founder of Hongga Kun or Hong Hei Gun, which is pretty dope, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, the story is pretty cool, you know what I'm saying, and I definitely like how Wong Fei Hong went from being an immature kid to being like a mature like kung fu practitioner. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely like that. And like I said, all the actors in this film all did a fantastic job in this film. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely like the characters in the film are pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give too much away because I want y'all to watch this movie and see it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely recommend y'all watching this in Cantonese with English subtitles and even Mandarin with English subtitles. Avoid the English dub at all costs. You feel me? Avoid that at all costs. So I'm gonna give the story a 4.5 out of 5. The characters are 4.5 out of 5, and the acting a 4.5 out of 5. Now, let's talk about the fight choreography and the cinematography, as well as, the lighting of this film. The fight choreography is pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I like how the fight scenes were shot and edited. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. Now, yeah, it is a little bit slow compared to the other Hong Kong martial arts films, especially Hong Kong kung fu films. Either around this era or later on in the late 70s and early 80s and mid 80s and even early 90s, but it's definitely pretty good in my opinion, especially for its time. You know what I'm saying? And it's to me, it still holds up in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I also like how the film was shot, even though it's a lot of it is filmed in the Shaw Brothers backlog studios. A lot of the stage props, and whatnot. It still takes you into the time of Guangdong or Canton during that time period. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like about it, and that's what I like about a lot of these Shaw Brothers kung fu films and wuxia films and martial arts films in general. It takes you into that world with their stage props and studio props and all that. That's what I like about it. The lighting, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good for what it delivered. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the night shots. It was probably day for night shots, or probably not for night. I can't be too sure. You know what I'm saying? So don't take my word on that. But for what it delivered, even though it's not perfect, it's pretty good. So yeah. So yeah, the lighting definitely gets a 3 out of 5. You know what I'm saying? But the cinematography gets a 4 out of 5, and the action, yeah, definitely gets a 4 out of 5 as well. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the music. The music is pretty good. It's pretty good, for what amount of music was used. You know what I'm saying? I definitely like how they use the Wong Fei Hung thing. Now, for those y'all that don't know, the Wong Fei Hung thing is actually a folk, a Chinese folk thing that was around during either the Ming Dynasty or the Qing Dynasty in ancient China, and it was called under the general's order. You know what I mean? Excuse me. It would later become synonymous with Wong Fei Hong, with the black and white Wong Fei Hong films in the 40s and 50s and 60s that star the late great Quan Ta King. And that's when it became the theme for Wong Fei Hong, which will become popularized internationally in the 90s with the Once Upon a Time in China films starring Jet Li. Yeah, for what it delivers, the music in this is pretty dope, and it's used appropriately in the right scenes for it that calls for it. You know what I'm saying? Which is pretty good. You know what I mean? So the music definitely gets a 4 out of 5 in my opinion. So overall, Challenge of the Masters, it's a pretty dope kung fu film, especially the first film that will have a young Wong Fei Hong before Jackie Chan's Drunken Master. Yes, that's right, y'all. This film predates Drunken Master by 2 years when it comes to the young Wong Fei Hong. You know what I'm saying? Which is pretty cool. So yeah, overall, this film definitely gets a 4 out of 5 in my opinion. So I hope y'all enjoy this review of Challenge with the Masters. I definitely sure did. Next up, I'm going for another review, especially for today. It's going to be on Martial Club. Yep, we're reviewing this bad boy. So stay tuned for that. So, with all that being said, if you enjoy this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe and all that good stuff if you want to, you know what I'm saying? You're not obligated to. So, yeah. So, with all that being said, this is your boy, Oaghaji, aka Oaghaji, signing out. Peace.